This video will provide an introduction to citing books, articles, and websites using APA style. Check out the library's channel for other tutorials. It's important that you give credit to others for the work that they've done so that you can avoid plagiarism. Not doing so, intentionally or not, is misrepresenting your own work and may result in serious academic and legal ramifications. When citing a book, you need to find the following information: the name of the author, date of publication, title of the book, the publishing city, and publisher. One thing to note is the capitalization on the title of the book. You're only going to capitalize the first word of the title and the first word of the subtitle, as well as any proper nouns. You don't capitalize every word. Let's look at a sample book. Most of the needed information can be found on either the title or the copyright page near the front of the book, or in the book's record in a library catalog. Here's a book called Uprising: How to Build a Brand and Change the World by Sparking Cultural Movements. Just under that is the name of the author. Sometimes you'll have more than one, or an editor instead of an author. On the title page, you'll usually find the publisher, in this case McGraw-Hill. The title page also lists a lot of different publishing cities. Generally, if you see more than one, you're just going to use the first one. The date of publication is over on the copyright page, 2012. Now that we have all the information we need, we can create our citation. Note that when using APA style, you only include the author's last name and then first and middle initials, not their full first name. Also, notice how I only capitalize the first word of the title and the first word of the subtitle, not every word. Citing articles is similar to citing books, except you need a little bit more information. In addition to the author and date of publication, you need the article title, the journal title, the volume and issue number, if applicable, the page range of the article, and the digital object identifier, known as the DOI. If there truly is no DOI, you would use a web search tool to find the journal's full homepage. But the DOI is much preferred to the journal's homepage because the DOI is the most stable URL we have. It points to only that one article, no matter how the journal or database provider may change. Let's take a look at an example article. The journal title is listed near the top of the page, but don't be confused by the name of the database that provides the article to us. We also can see the volume, issue, date of publication, and page range of the article. Next we have the article title, and under that we have the names of both authors. The last thing you'll want to look for is the DOI, which will be a long string of numbers and sometimes letters, but it should clearly say DOI somewhere. If there truly is no DOI, then you would use some other search tool to look for the home website of the journal itself. This is not the same as the library database URL where you found the article, because that is often an unstable URL. For example, if this Journal of Business Research didn't provide a DOI, I would have used the web to find its homepage and use that URL. Now we can create our citation. Use an ampersand rather than the word "and" between my two authors. Note that the article title is exactly like the book title was, where we only capitalize the first word of the title and the first word of the subtitle. However, each significant word in the journal title is capitalized because that's a proper noun. Notice also how we format the volume, issue, page numbers, and DOI to match the correct example. Websites are probably the hardest type of citation to create because a lot of the information can be hard to find or missing. It's important to keep in mind that if you can't find much of this information, it's hard to validate that you are in fact using a reliable source. First is the name of the author or authors, then the date the information on the page was published. Notice that because websites are frequently updated more often, include as much detail as the page gives you. If it tells you the year, month, and/or day, include all of that formatted like this. Then include the title of the specific page you were actually on, and finally the link for the page. Let's take a look at this example web page. If we can find an individual's name as an author, that's preferred, but often we don't have one, so APA tells us to use a corporate author, a group or an agency, in this case the American Marketing Association. The title of the page is usually near the top, but it's not always the most prominent text. In this case, Student Resource Center seems to be a heading, and each of these buttons leads to a different page, so Collegiate Chapter Events is the unique title for this page. If there is a date of publication, usually it is found at the top or bottom of the page. This page has a copyright date at the bottom, but if we check a few other AMA pages, we'll see that the same copyright is currently used for every single one of its pages, so that's not really a date of publication or most recent update for this specific page. Thus, in this case, we'll have to indicate no date. Here's our citation. For a corporate author like this one, you'll want to capitalize every significant word of their name since it's a proper noun, rather than using the abbreviation, in this case AMA. As we found that this website doesn't have a publication or updated date, we'll use a lowercase n.d. for no date. Finally, notice that website titles are also in sentence case capitalization, just like all other titles. With all your citations created, put them together in the references list. It goes at the end of your paper and should look something like this. The top of your page says References, centered, with no other special formatting. Double space throughout. Organize all references in alphabetical order, and they should each have a hanging indent. That means the first line of each citation is not indented, but subsequent lines are. In addition to the full list of sources at the end of your paper, you also need to cite sources throughout your paper to show where each bit of information came from. In order to do this, you need the author name, then the date, and then if you're using a direct quote, always include the page number. Before each page number, use the letter P period. For the American Marketing Association, I added AMA in brackets so that each subsequent time I cite the source, I can just use AMA in my in-text citation. Finally, for documents without pages, you can indicate paragraph number by using PARA period. This page contains some other useful sources and good examples you might want to check out if you get stuck as you're creating your citations. Don't hesitate to contact the library with any questions about citation.